Thanks for joining us on ntTV News at Noon. I'm Sebastian Nava.
And I'm Avery Callens. Last night, hospitals in the Ukrainian region of Kyiv are struck by Russian forces, leaving many without water. This is a detriment to the patients who need running water for life-saving procedures. CNN's Salma Abdelaziz has the story.
Dialysis patients like these need running water for their treatment. So when Russia targeted Kyiv's infrastructure Monday, lives hung in the balance.
One patient here needs at least 4 hours and almost 300 liters of water.
300
for
liters
one procedure
of water.
Of running water. For one day, we had no water at all in this unit. That's just very dangerous to their health.
For the first time since the start of the conflict, 4 of the capital's biggest hospitals were left without running water for most of a day. The Kyiv Regional Clinical Center was among the facilities impacted. Doctors and nurses here scrambled to transfer the most urgent cases.
So we must be prepared to face even the most difficult challenges.
For weeks, Moscow has pounded Ukraine's critical infrastructure, but medical facilities had so far been spared, relying on backup generators during blackouts. This week's strikes were so severe, Kyiv's water pumps stopped working, leaving some 1,500 hospital patients across the city in limbo.
This is one of the hospital's sterilization rooms. It's here that staff come to clean surgical equipment. But once the water was cut off, they could no longer do that. That means all non-emergency operations had to be canceled.
Hospitals require an enormous amount of water. This one, its officials say, uses some 15 tons per day. The medical director here says it created a huge challenge for her staff. We're ready for emergency situations every day. We can handle power cuts. But the lack of water was absolutely catastrophic for us, she tells me. We had to act quickly.
Do you worry that the water system could be cut off again by Russian missiles?
We worry every day.
You worry every day?
Every day and every morning.
For now, the city's water services are restored, but it's a matter of if, not when, Moscow will strike Kyiv's lifelines again. Salma Abdelaziz, CNN, Kyiv.
The countdown to Election Day is now down to 5 days, with many important issues on the ballot across the nation. One of the major races in the country is the Senate race in Georgia between incumbent Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker. Senator Warnock won the special election in 2020 to fill the seat left by the resignation of Johnny Isakson. Herschel Walker has received endorsements from many prominent Republicans, such as Texas Senator Ted Cruz and former President Donald Trump. This senator race is making history as the first time 2 black men are major party candidates in the state's history.
Today, medical professionals across the nation are rallying together in defiance of abortion bans, calling it a national day of action. This was started by the group Doctors for Abortion Access, claiming that politicians need to stop putting laws in place that prevent them from doing their jobs. They reached out to hundreds of medical impacted professionals and will have support from 10 different states for the event, including Texas. Most of the states in attendance are directly rallying against abortion bans following the overturn of Roe v. Wade. On Election Day, the 2022 midterm is only 5 days away, but early voting ends tomorrow. Here we have listed the 4 early voting locations here in Denton, including the Gateway Center here on UNT's campus. These locations will be open today and tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., so be sure to get out and vote. Lastly, make sure you are registered to vote beforehand and make sure to bring an acceptable form of photo ID with you when you go to vote. For more updates and information on elections both in-state and across the country, tune in to ntTV's election show this Tuesday night at 7 p.m., where we will have coverage in both English and Spanish. Well, I'm sure glad I voted already, so I don't have to wait out in any line.
Yeah, you're right. But let's toss it over to our weather anchor, Alec Rapp, to see how conditions are going to be for our other voters.
Thanks, guys. Let me tell you why, if you're going to early vote, you want to do it today. So we have good conditions here in Denton, 72 degrees, and it feels as such. It's a little bit windy, 12 miles an hour. However, it's just cloudy, no chances of rain. Now tomorrow, well, actually, let's take a look at tonight first. So it's going to be a little bit warmer, 75 degrees. It's going to feel like 76, or just a little bit warmer, 12-mile-an-hour wind speed. So that's going to stay the same. But tomorrow is why you don't want to vote early tomorrow, because 75 degrees, but a 98% chance of rain. It's going to feel like 75, but it's going to be very windy, 18 to 25 miles an hour for the wind speed tomorrow. So very bad conditions. If you do decide to early vote tomorrow, you're probably going to want a rain jacket and an umbrella just to be safe. But I do have some good news for you, because Saturday, the homecoming game here at North Texas, we have great weather, 70 degrees. It's going to feel just like that. It's going to be a little windy, 13 miles an hour, so you might have some missed kicks at the game, but I will say it's a perfect day for football. That's all for now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alec. The acceptance rate at UNT has been increasing since 2011, according to the latest UNT enrollment report. As on-campus housing continues to deny hundreds of upperclassmen housing applications, off-campus housing is now the only option for many. A leasing representative from NTX Student Housing gives insight on the current housing situation. Denton housing prices are up 18% from the last year, and with UNT upperclassmen being pushed out of the dorms, there might be a scramble for student housing within the upcoming semester. But what exactly does the current state of student housing look like, and what does this mean for the future of student housing in Denton, Texas? Andrew with NTX Student Housing has insight as a leasing office representative.
We are filling up pretty fast already, and it's only November 1st. It's been kind of a tricky process. We heard that UNT is only going to be housing freshmen, so we're having all upperclassmen come and check us out, give tours. So it's been a little chaotic.
The latest report shows that Denton housing prices are up 1.7% within the last month, on top of the initial 18% increase. So in terms of pricing, it doesn't look like it'll be getting any lower.
Due to inflation too, because I know all the apartments in Denton are having to raise up their current rent prices, so a lot of current tenants are a little bit upset about that, but we've been trying to explain to them the situation in a clear manner, so that way everything is smooth and people will be okay with the price going up, because obviously, things that have happened. We've had a pandemic.
Students can check out offcampushousing.unt.edu to browse off-campus options, find resources, and more. Again, now is the time to start thinking about renewing your lease or looking for off-campus housing to beat the wait list.
Coming up, we'll check in with Isabella, who has more information with homecoming that you'll want to know.
And how Friday's weather has shaken up a lot of sporting events in North Texas. We'll be right back.
Midterm elections are coming up across the country on November 8th, and here at North Texas Television, we'll be giving you live updates throughout the night.
National and state race updates, original content on political issues, and bilingual coverage, North Texas Television is here to keep you informed.
We'll also have experts in political science and sociology to share their takes on hot-button issues at stake in these races.
Our live reporters will be covering the evening in Dallas, Denton, and the state capital, Austin, Texas.
Be sure to tune in for midterm election coverage right here on North Texas Television. We'll be going live from 7 to 9 p.m. on Frontier 46, Charter 192, YouTube, and Facebook.
It's that time of year where everyone plays a dangerous game with the flu. Going in uneducated, you run the risk of symptoms like cough, migraine, and fatigue. Don't be like this guy. Combat the flu with cough drops, ibuprofen, and a good night's sleep. Be smart, don't catch the flu.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O. This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
Well, Avery, I haven't been able to make it to any of the homecoming events this week, but I do plan on going to the bonfire tonight.
That's so exciting. You know, it's my first homecoming here at UNT, and I'm really excited to see how the UNT spirit acts in full swing.
Well, let's find out more about the UNT spirit with our reporter, Isabella Quintanilla. Isabella?
With the bonfire, I know y'all were having to keep a close eye on the weather.
Yes, so Bonfire got moved to this evening at 9 p.m. So after you visit Travel Bash in the Union at 5, make sure to go over to Apogee for Bonfire.
Are y'all announcing the homecoming winners at the bonfire, or would that be at the game?
That would be at the game, for sure.
Right. And so, of course, we have the football game Saturday. Do y'all have any fun events planned for the game?
Yes, so we have a student tailgate. Actually, it's going to be by the live band stage. We'll also have free food provided as well. We also have a spirit station at the tent, so you can come get ready for the game. We have face paint, glitter provided. We also have necklaces, headbands, and temporary tattoos. So if you want to come get Mean Green Spirit, we have that ready for y'all.
I'm definitely going to get a temporary tattoo. And so lastly, what's been your favorite event so far, and what are you looking forward to?
So far, my favorite event has been Scrappy Games, because it was fun watching the different orgs get to compete. But I'm really looking forward to Travel Bash and Bonfire this evening.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us on the show today. We had so much fun. I hope to see everyone else at the remaining homecoming events. Now, that's all I have for today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Isabella. UNT isn't the only school who has rescheduled events due to Friday's inclement weather. Many North Texas school districts have moved their Friday night games to today. These include Denton, Dallas, Fort Worth, Frisco, and other independent school districts. Some ISDs had to move only a single game, but larger districts like Fort Worth and Frisco had to reschedule much more. But luckily, it doesn't look like the weather will be too bad for homecoming this Saturday.
Let's hope so. And let's go ahead and turn to our weather anchor, Alec Rapp, to see what we can expect. Alec?
Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look across North Texas. As you can see, temperatures all around the 70s with an average of about 72 at 72 degrees. Here in Denton, we have a high of 75 down in Stephenville, and then the low up in Sherman is 70 degrees. And let's go ahead and take a look across the region and the state. As you can see, once again, kind of in the 70s. We have a high of 79 down in Houston, Austin 77. Then we have nice weather up in Oklahoma City and El Paso, and then it's 64 degrees in Amarillo. So that's the low in the area. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the 7-day forecast here for Denton. As I mentioned earlier, tomorrow a 98% chance of rain. So if you're going to do some early voting, make sure you have an umbrella or a rain jacket with you. It's going to be 75 degrees for the high, 43 for the low. For the homecoming game Saturday, 70 degrees, really nice weather for football. Then looking at Sunday, it's going to be 78 degrees. Monday, 81 with a chance of rain, 58%. Now, Tuesday, Election Day, we've got good weather. Once again, it's going to be partly cloudy, but 80's the high, 61 the low, so really good weather there. On Wednesday, it's going to be 80 degrees, and then on Thursday, 75 degrees as well. So really nice weather across Denton for the rest of the week. That's all for me. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Alec. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's making headlines in Hollywood.
And Spotify and Apple are at odds. We'll explain in a few minutes.
That was a really good movie.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, so we have to watch the next one before next class, right?
We do?
I think so, but it's not on Netflix and it's not on Hulu, so...
Man, I don't want to pay for that.
So what do we do?
You think there's a place we could go to get the movie?
I'm not sure, maybe?
Oh, there's a place to get the movie.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it's right here on campus. Come on, I'll show you.
Imagine it's ice cream day at the office. And everyone from the day before voted for their favorite flavor. Everyone but you. You decided not to vote. The flavor they picked isn't the one that you wanted. But can you really complain? Shh! Now imagine that with an elected official.
Choose not to vote, choose not to be heard. Get registered today.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced that there was a shortage of the common antibiotic amoxicillin. CNN's Manny Gaither has more on how you can still get your prescription.
A shortage on the shelves across the U.S. Some local pharmacies having trouble filling prescriptions for amoxicillin.
Because of the surge in respiratory infections, we think it's causing an increase in demand for the antibiotic amoxicillin, and particularly pediatric dosage forms, which include suspensions, form of an oral liquid, or chewable tablets.
Michael Gagnon with the American Society of Health System Pharmacists says that while amoxicillin wouldn't be used to treat a viral infection like RSV, some may develop secondary bacterial infections that require antibiotics if you can't get your prescription filled.
Work with the pharmacist there or with their prescriber to find another pharmacy that might have the drug in stock. There may be a different concentration or dosage form that's available. But there's also several other options that can be used as far as antibiotics go.
COVID-19 mitigation measures like masking lowered rates of other infections, so some drug companies say there had been little demand for the medicine during the height of the pandemic. Since the antibiotic is made when there's a demand for it, the companies need time to catch up.
In this case, there are some allocations, meaning the pharmacies can't order up more than what they normally stock. So that can make it difficult to meet the full demand that's out there right now.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Netflix is starting to look a lot more like traditional television with the introduction of their new Basic with Ads subscription plan. It will cost $6.99 and will include 5 minutes of ad time per hour. Will air before and during programs, and each ad will last about 30 seconds long. In response to their financial struggle, this is the first time in 25 years the company will be introducing ads as subscription and stocks continue to plummet.
Two major audio platforms are now in a public feud. Spotify has called out Apple over its 30% fee on in-app purchases. Spotify has tried to work around the fee 3 different times, all of which have been rejected by Apple. This prevents Spotify from selling audiobooks on its platform, which could serve as competition to Apple's pre-installed Apple Books. Spotify representatives said Apple's rejections is, quote, reflective of Apple's anti-competitive practices across the board. Apple has yet to comment directly on Spotify's comments, only saying that Spotify's workarounds broke its rules.
Yesterday, the new Avatar sequel released its highly anticipated trailer, and an unexpected TV show will be making a comeback. CNN's David Daniel has more in Hollywood Minute.
How can one become so bounded by choices that somebody
else makes.
I Drink Wine is the latest music video from Adele. The Grammy-winning singer doesn't seem too happy in the clip, especially for someone floating down a lazy river in a custom Valentino gown sipping wine.
Nope, that's last
The superstar
week's.
launches her rescheduled and redesigned Weekends with Adele Las Vegas residency at Caesars Palace November 18th.
Parkland has been here. The church in Charleston, they were here.
When there's a shooting, we text each other because you just know what each other's feeling.
4 years ago today, a white supremacist killed 11 people and wounded 6 others during morning services at Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history. Now a documentary looks at the shooting, the survivors, what has changed and what has not changed. A Tree of Life, the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting, premiered this week on HBO and HBO Max. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Speaking of movies and films, I've heard someone recreated one of my favorite movie scenes from Cars in NASCAR.
Well, it may not be the Piston Cup, but our sports anchor, Gabby Pippin, will tell us more on how someone was living life on the highway. Gabby?
Well, technically it is more of a speedway instead of a highway, but close enough. Yes, we will be discussing a video game move brought to real life, a historical Game 4 of the World Series, and UNT's homecoming game predictions right after this.
Can I see your voter registration, please? All right, you're good. No registration, no entry. All right. Let me see your voter registration card, please.
I'm not registered to vote.
No registration, no entry.
Dude, my friends are already in there.
No registration, no entry.
What the?
Join the club. Register to vote today.
The Houston Astros just faced off against the Phillies in Game 4 of the World Series last night. The Phillies entered the game with confidence going in 2-1, but they were quickly humbled. The Astros were able to pick up 5 runs in the 5th inning, taking a large lead 5-0. And Christian Javier pitched for the first 6 innings, all of which the Phillies failed to hit. Now, Brian Abreu took over in the 7th, which also went without hits from the Phillies. Rafael Montero and Ryan Presley took over in the 8th and 9th innings, which helped solidify history, as this became the only second no-hitter World Series game in history. On top of that, the Astros tied the series 2-2, making this any team's game. As NASCAR's Cup Series qualifiers came to a close Sunday at the Martinsville Speedway, racers took this race as their last opportunity to have a chance at the Cup final. Now, during this lap, Ross Chastain got a bright idea that has received very mixed feelings. Now, let's take a look at how he quite literally slingshot himself into the running. Now, as you can see here, he rides the wall, destroying the entire right side of his car, and he ends up speeding past Denny Hamlin along with 4 other cars. I mean, do you guys see all that smoke? It's crazy. I mean, he took this video game seriously here, guys. Now, those repairs will be costly, but it may be worth it for Christian to be solidified along with Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, and Chase Elliott as championship contenders next Sunday as the Championship 4 go to Phoenix Speedway. And finally, UNT is kicking off homecoming celebrations in full swing this week. Things began with a food and music festival at the Library Mall Monday, and they continue with a cool bonfire tonight. And while students enjoy the festivities, the football team is preparing to take on FIU Saturday at the Apogee Stadium. Now, UNT will be coming off a huge win against Western Kentucky, and fans hope that this momentum continues into the big homecoming game. Now, UNT is set to beat FIU as they currently have a 4-4 record, and UNT is coming off of a win. So let's hope they get a big win for UNT's big homecoming week game. Now, that's all I've got for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Gabby. You know, now that Halloween is over, it's time for Thanksgiving, and I just can't wait to get myself some turkey.
I just can't bring myself to eat a turkey. I would rather cuddle one, which is something that you can do at a farm in Missouri, as CNN's Steve Harris has more.
November means it's time to talk turkey.
So I took a drive to Dittmer, Missouri to a place called the Gentle Barn.
The Gentle Barn is a national nonprofit organization that rescues severely abused, neglected, and unwanted farmed animals. We provide them with sanctuary for the rest of their lives, and then we work with them to bring comfort and healing to people.
Here you'll find pigs, donkeys, ducks, and cows. Sorry, but the star of this month's show, the turkeys, Neptune and Smudge.
Hey, Smudge.
Christine is like the turkey whisperer, if you will.
Hi. Hi. Having a good day? Yeah. You talking?
And on Thanksgiving Day, she's inviting the public to come by for a cuddle.
The female turkeys love to cuddle and form close relationships. Our turkey specifically, we have a turkey that loves to be held and sit in your lap. So they really enjoy all of the attention.
For a donation to help the barn's rescue efforts, visitors can book a time to hug, hold, pamper, and pet a turkey. You can even feed them, which for the turkey is a welcome change. Now, this is the kind of story that begs for a little reporter involvement, right? So since I've never actually cuddled with a turkey, why not now? Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Can I pet her?
Yeah. Good girl.
There's something soothing and comforting about this, I gotta tell you. And mark that off my bucket list. Steve Harris, News 4.
Thanks for watching ntTV News at noon.
Join us again here at 8 on North Texas Television.